Hi, this is Katie, and this is one of my little stuffed animals. In today's video, I want to show you what I am personally capable of doing while I'm in a really depressive episode. I filmed all this footage about a week ago. It's only like a minute long, and I really hope that you stay until after that footage as well so I can kind of explain it a little bit further. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into this video. Okay, so what I'm capable of doing when I'm depressed. I can do the dishes. I think I had some music on too while I was doing that. And then I took a shower. I was doing my skincare, put my moisturizer on, and then I got dressed. I like that little jean top thing that I'm wearing. I did my hair, slicked it back, think it looks pretty nice. Then I did my laundry. Yes, I'm someone who separates my whites from my darks, and so I did my whites that day. And then I folded all of that laundry and some other laundry that I had, and I put it away in all my little drawers and cubbies in my loft closet thing. And then I did my makeup, some eyebrows, some concealer, some blush, some eyeshadow, some lipstick, and I think I looked pretty cute that day. And then I fixed my nail polish because some of it like kind of came off, and so I put some gold leaf on it, thought that looked cute for a couple days. And then I braved the weather, I guess it was raining that day, put my nice shoes on and went to the grocery store, picked up a couple things, got some potatoes, and then I got some beef, and I got some chips and a couple other things, and I paid for all my groceries. And then I got back in my car and I drove home. So as you can see, for some people that might just be like a typical day. I also came home and I did some work and I cooked some meals and stuff, you know, but I did not make this video to brag, to show off, to be like, look what I can do. Look how capable I am when I'm depressed. And since I can do it, you can do it too. That's not why I made this video even remotely. You know why I made this video? I made this video to show you that you never, ever actually know what's going on in someone's head or in their heart, what they're feeling. You have no idea. Anyone who saw me out and about that day, or anyone, if I just was texting a friend and didn't tell them what was going on, if I just posted on social media and did not say what was going on, nobody would have guessed that I was severely depressed that day. I showered, put makeup on, did some laundry, went grocery shopping. That's a typical day for a lot of people. And a lot of people who have more typical brains, like healthy brains, so people who do not suffer with mental illnesses, people who are not going through a rough time in their personal life, people who do not even deal with like neurodivergent things in their brains, just general typical people with normal, healthy types of brains. And I'm saying normal in terms of like what's typical, right? What the majority of people have. Those people, this day might just look like nothing. It might look like it took no effort. It might look like a day that they do 3-4 times a week, that it's no big deal. For someone like me, who have really severe mental illnesses, a lot of them have characteristics where I have very severe anxiety, very severe depression, overwhelming negative thoughts, a lot of issues I struggle with. And I know there are some people like me out there. And for some of us, a day like that, it's not easy. It's not easy. That took all the effort that I had in my body to do that. I'm a firm believer if someone is struggling, whether they have mental health issues or they have just mental differences in their brains that make certain things in this life a little bit more difficult for them, or if you're going through a really rough time, I do believe that sometimes and some days lying in bed and resting is the best thing. Sometimes I know that's the best thing for me too. And also there are some days where I literally feel like I can't do anything else. But there are other days where I push myself, where taking a shower feels like literally the hardest thing in the entire world, but I push myself to do it anyway because I know that I have to, or because I'm putting effort in so much to help my own brain. But again, resting sometimes is helping. And for me, at least, sometimes being productive or pushing myself is helping. But regardless, when I do push myself, it is not easy. And I want this video to kind of just be a reminder, not only that we never know what someone else is going through. Yes, most people do have typical brains. That's why it's called typical. But there are lots of people like me out there. You might be one of them who sometimes, some days, taking a shower feels like the hardest thing in the world. Sometimes going to the grocery store, you're like, oh, I can't even do that today. That's not happening. And I know that some people, especially if you don't suffer with mental illnesses, you might think, well, if you're depressed, you lie in bed all day and that's it. If anyone does anything besides that, they're not really depressed. They're lying. They're exaggerating. There are so many people out and about every day who are going to work, who are taking care of their families, who are cooking, who are cleaning, who are still suffering and going through such a hard time inside, but they're pushing through. And maybe they're not even telling you. Maybe they're not even telling you because they don't want to be a burden. Or because maybe they've tried to tell you before or tell someone else before, and the other person just kind of threw away their feelings and just, oh, no, you're fine, or oh, look at the bright side. And so maybe they just don't want to share it anymore. I've dealt with that a lot with my mental health, my physical health. It's very similar with physical health and chronic illness as well, that there are some days where you have to lie in bed. And there are other days where you can push yourself. And you know what? Some days are easier than others. There are some days that I can shower. Today I took a shower and it was easy, because I was not having a severe depressive episode today. Last week when I recorded that, I was. And I never know sometimes when mine are going to act. My emotions and my brain and everything is a little roller coaster, and it's very difficult for me to deal with. But there are some days when I take a shower, I go to the grocery store, I work, and it's easy. Something that I can do. There are other days where it feels like the hardest thing in the world, and I have to push myself if I want to get it done. If I know it's right for me, there are still some times where I have to push myself so much. And then there are other days where I lie in bed all day and I watch TV. And I just want to remind you, whether you are someone who suffers or you're not, other people in this world don't suffer the same way that you do. And I know there's lots of people, again, whether you suffer or not, whether you have mental health issues or physical health issues or not, whether you have a different type of brain and different type of processing or not, it's still very easy, just as human nature, to assume that other people process information the same way that we do, handle things the same way that we do. You know, it's always easy. Oh, why'd that person get so upset when they went through that breakup? If that was me, I would have dealt with it fine. Well, you don't know. Because A, maybe you would have been different because you are a different person, but B, you were not actually in their actual situation. So even you might know someone, or you might be someone who suffers with mental health issues, or again, chronic illness, or anything that makes you different than the norm. And I'm not saying norm as good or bad. I'm just saying it as, in terms of the majority of people don't have chronic illness, and the majority of people do not suffer from very severe mental health issues. A lot of people suffer from certain day-to-day issues and stress 100%, yes. But I'm talking about very specific, severe issues. That is obviously not the majority of people. I understand that it's very difficult to understand that people are different than us. I get that. But again, the reason I made this video is just to kind of remind everyone, including myself, that everyone is different. Everyone handles things differently. Some people are going to be more emotionally stable, and you're like, how did you handle that so well? And it's maybe just because how their brain is wired. And some people might be emotionally less stable, who cry about a lot of things, or maybe they just have more of a sensitive heart and they cry more. And you might be someone who's like, why are they crying? It's not really a big deal, but to them it is. Or, you know, even something like holding my stuffed animal. Some people make fun of me for this. Or some people might think to, but they don't actually say it out loud. But you know what? With my mental health differences that I have, and my thought processing differences that I have, I like holding my stuffed animal. There's no need to make fun of other people just because they're different. There really isn't. We can be kind in this world. It is possible. We can do that. But it does take thinking a little bit outside of ourselves. And I know that it's really difficult to fathom, especially if you don't suffer, but maybe if you do, it might be really difficult to fathom that, wow, it's really hard for that other person to take a shower. That's weird. Yeah, it is. It is hard for some people to take showers or to brush their teeth or to eat that day. Yes, there are people who suffer that much. Even if it's not you, some other people are like that. So it does not always mean they're exaggerating or lying. That's a very small percentage of people, or that they're just lazy. Very small percentage of people. Some people actually do just have that hard of a life. And I know it's really sad. It's really scary to think. And sometimes it's easier for us to pretend that scary and sad things don't exist. But if we remind ourselves that they do, then maybe we can just be a little kinder and a little more understanding of other people and show a little bit more love. Because I know it's really hard to accept the fact there are some people suffering as much as they actually are, especially since people hide it a lot because they don't want to be a burden. But if someone says, I can't shower today, just believe them. Maybe see what you can do to help them, but please, if you can, unless you know the person and you know that they need a specific type of pushing or like that brutal honesty or something like that, yes, still be honest with them, but you can be kind. If someone comes to you who's close to you and says, I really can't shower today, I'm having a lot of trouble, see what would help them. If they need to take a shower for some reason, see how you can help motivate them and push them. But if they don't need to, remind them that it's okay to rest, you know? Because again, I know it's so easy to just assume that everyone's just like us, but they're not. In some ways, yeah. In some ways, they are. But some people might be going through something different. And if we err on the side of kindness, then we're not going to make fun of someone for holding a stuffed animal because maybe they have such a mental difference that this is one of the things that helps calm them down. You know? And yes, there's a very small minority of people who exaggerate and lie for attention, but don't assume that's everyone who says that they're suffering or who's having a hard time, because most people who say they're having a hard time are probably having a harder time than they can even explain to you, because they don't want to be a burden. And because you might not understand anyway, because again, we're all so different. And so I wanted to make this video just to remind you that we're all different, to remind you that there are people out there who are pushing themselves so hard, but to you, it looks like they're just doing the same thing that you do every day, but to them it might be so difficult. And you might be someone who's suffering and you're pushing through and you know how hard it is. You're not doing it because it's easy. You're doing it because you know that you need to, and you're pushing yourself and using all of your energy. So just because someone accomplished something, whether they are neurotypical, neurodivergent, mentally healthy, mentally ill, emotionally strong, emotionally struggling, sometimes we all accomplish things or do things, go to the grocery store, take a shower, start a business. Doesn't matter even what end of the spectrum it is. Sometimes we do things and sometimes they are easy, but sometimes they're not. And so I just want to, and I'm reminding myself this too, I want to do as much as I can to err on the side of kindness, because we never truly know what someone else is going through. You saw that whole video, and if I did not mention I was depressed and I was just doing laundry, going to the grocery store, nobody would have known. Nobody would have known. And I'm not saying we should always just assume everyone's depressed, no. But we can still err on the side of kindness. Be kind to someone, smile at someone, say hi. Say, I hope you're having a great day, you know? And I think that that can just bring such joy to the world. I know a lot of people right now are going in the direction of being selfish and only caring about themselves and maybe their immediate family and friends. But I still think that we are part of this whole world. And does that mean that we have to take care of everyone and talk to every single person we see? No. But if we can smile at people more, say hi to people more, and err on the side of kindness, and just remind ourselves we don't fully know what other people are going through, it could just bring a little bit more joy to this world and a little bit more understanding and a little bit more love. And I really think that we need that right now. So yeah, that's why I made this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I do hope that you are subscribed. And I guess that's it. Thank you again. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.